So the new Hunger Games is coming out. Ballads of Songbirds and Snake has to be up there as one of the dumbest titles in existence. It sounds like ball sacks or something, but who actually allowed this title? Unless it's something relating to the book it's based on. Oh, I guess it is. But why would you call your book that?
I guess we'll never know.
Or at least I won't, unless it's referencing the film. Okay, chill, I can do a quick Google search on this. I see now. Still dumb though. So after all that rambling, in anticipation for the new Hunger Games film, I watched the previous three and a half. I don't know, we all know the last two should have just been one film, but we moved. So for those of you who have no idea what the Hunger Games is, it's basically Fortnite no build, but with kids. Wait, Fortnite already has kids, but like you would think that a Fortnite film, that has to be the greatest cinematic marvel of all time and win all the awards. But for real though, it was actually pretty good, at least for the first few films, and was such a fun concept that worked, at least for the films that were based on that. You would think that if you took that out of your film, it wouldn't just make it worse, right? Aside that, this is my first time actually watching the Hunger Games. At least the last three. I did watch the first one, but like years ago, and definitely not in one sitting. But on a rewatch, I did remember a lot of things I saw back then, and I was like, oh, I remember that. But besides the point, we're going back to 2012. Crazy that this was such a successful film when considering 2012 was a crazy year for films. We got the critically acclaimed hits such as John Carter and Journey 2 with The Rock. Points already for their placement that year. No wonder this was the fourth most successful film. But to the actual film, and honestly, as a standalone film, I didn't like it too much. I think there were so many things in the movie that I had a problem with. I didn't hate it, just didn't reach my expectations considering the hype this film got at the time. The film just felt all very pedestrian. But after watching Catching Fire, this film makes a really good prologue in my opinion. My main issue is just how slow it is, as I mentioned. It's just, am I insane for just wanting to see kids kill each other? And I'm all down for like world building, character growth, and making us want to feel something for these characters. But like, it was just done so sluggishly and was really dull. So all this film had for itself was the Hunger Games scenes. But like in the end, they all worked out, don't get me wrong. But it shouldn't have needed its entire 2-hour runtime for that. And it didn't even complete it for most characters. But it does piss me off that this film and Catching Fire was actually better than the actual film. They made a two-parter. But let me talk about the characters. Woody Harrelson as Haymitch was super cool in this. He was really good. Honestly, my standout in this film. So much of this film is Katniss, maybe because it's her film, but just those scenes with Haymitch in it just does something for me. But yeah, don't get me wrong, Jennifer and Josh are also really good in this. I don't know why I thought Josh was Anthony Soprano's kid in The Sopranos, but I digress. President Snow in subsequent films was also really good. Don't remember him getting a ton of play in this first film, but he was something I didn't like about him, not in this film but like in the other films, was I feel like he was a bad guy written by a child. Nothing against his acting, just that the way they made him evil in the films after this, I guess he was always evil, but like the way they move around and explore his evil aspect, it was just weird. But apart from all that, the cast is in this film is just insane. We have a young Amanda Stenberg, Lenny Kravitz is in this, freaking Huey is in this, Jack Quaid. Katniss just killed him though. That was my tiny problem I had with this film. Like, girl, kill more people. Even Peter doesn't kill anyone in this. Like, even in the entire film series, I don't think he does. And I just mentioned Katniss killed Huey. You actual monster, you deserve that death. How do you go attacking little girls? But for a Hunger Games film, out of the other two, but only two actually had Hunger Games, so out of the first two, this honestly had the better Hunger Games in my opinion. Yeah, on a lower budget and everything, but it just felt more engaging. And for a PG-13 film, it managed to do a lot with its violence of kids killing each other. Also, just the start of the games, that was something that they just did so well in both films, to be fair, but this one in particular, the tension, the sound design, when the speaker said do not leave until we hear the beep or whatever, everything just felt real. But I can't lie, I low-key expected someone to just run out and just get blown up or something. Also, I don't get the interference in the games. Like, what if you just kill all the vectors at the end beforehand, you know? And it sort of takes away from the fun, because you know you're actively trying to kill a tribute, which makes it feel scripted. Like, if I was in Panem, I'll put bets in this thing, I'll feel like robbed. It's just dumb to me. And finally, something that just bugs with me in this film is the Katniss hype, the hype that Katniss gets. Okay, I get it. She volunteered. She's the first person to volunteer in like a long time, but come on, she's just a girl. Like the other girls and the other guys from the higher up districts, they train their life for this. We know she's a good archer, but they don't. Even when they like say that, oh, you're good with the bow, you're good with the bow. Bro, you don't even see that she's good with the bow till the next film. She literally misses all her shots in this film. But overall, I actually really like this film. I just feel it's a bit overhyped, and the Hunger Games bits just carried it, which isn't a bad thing, but you know, I just expected more from it, considering what he got. But I think we should start acknowledging that sequels are just better than originals, because why is Catching Fire so good? It didn't have to go this good, yo. Change of directors to Francis Lawrence, no relation to Jennifer, but he is also doing the new one. But he also did the two that followed after this, so...
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
Everything is fine, I guess. Just a 30% success rate in this franchise. You know, nothing too bad. Did make them get their bag though. But the best thing about this film is Seymour Hoffman.
Dress is she gonna wear? Floggings? What's the cake gonna look like? Executions? Who's gonna be there? Fear.
He was just so good in this. Every problem I had in the first film that was either not addressed or not dived in deeper was in this. More actual interactions and character development built on the groundwork from the previous, or even when there was nothing from the previous, like Katniss' sister for example. We got nothing from her in the last film. And check this, Prim is getting way more serious play in this. Like, I remember her name. That's how, and she wasn't even in a lot of scenes in this film, but like, you could just feel it. You could just, they were cooking, right? The character development in this film was just really good, in the sense of other characters in this film just got more life injected in them. We also explored the relationship between her and Peter, and also Liam, because in the last film, I don't know if they mentioned that it was fake or anything on the lines of that, but definitely brought it on one fold in this, because it felt very unnatural in that first film. I had a really huge problem with that until I watched this film and it all made sense. Her relationship with Liam, as I mentioned, was just very robotic, but nobody cares about them. We only care about her and Peter. I don't get the whole PTSD thing, because they looked really happy at the end of the first film, and she didn't really have it as hard as Peter in the first film from what I remember. Yeah, Amandla died on her, but really that was it, wasn't it? And also, like, even after all of that, in the next following two films, she was just perfectly fine. So it even takes away from that sense to show you that that entire concept was dumb, in my opinion. But on the heartfelt scenes with Jennifer, I think her speech sequence in District 11 or wherever district that was really good. Man, I felt every single emotion. She carried those moments, Jennifer. She's a really, really good actress. That scene in Amanda's district, like as I just mentioned. And then she got that man killed, which is a pretty common trope with her character, getting people killed. Well, to be fair, on this one, he really just got himself killed, but I digress. Shout out Peter though, when he was having his interview with Stanley Tucci. The slyness to say that Katniss was pregnant, code for them to absolutely not care and still send a possibly unborn child to her death. And yeah, the Hunger Games, a bit different from the last ones, barely any killings between the contestants. Well, that's actually not true, but it just felt, I don't want to say it in a smaller scale, but just the moment of shock just felt like they'll just have like this, they just literally just had like two scenes of like absolute brutality, instead of like in the previous one we had like a bunch of other scenes with like these one-to-one interactions. I don't know, it just felt more natural. I know it's a cause of them playing in squads, but still. And also the 75th Hunger Games, the quarter quell, the biggest. And what sets this different from the previous ones? They'd kill old people. Isn't it meant to be like the biggest one, as I just said? I would be a bit disappointed if I was in the world of Panem and this quarter quell, this 75th annual Hunger Games, is just old people fighting younger people. It's a bit disappointing in that sense. But we get Alan Richardson in this for like a minute, but Jeffrey Wright is also in this as well. The cast just one-ups itself each time, but they just playing squads, as I mentioned. How the group is this big and they're not suspicious of anything is beyond me. Also, why is Katniss always in the dark about everything? She's in the dark about the revolution here. I don't know if it would have helped if she was aware, maybe not, that's why they didn't say anything, but it leads on to my next film, or the next film. Mockingjay Part 1. Why is there no Hunger Games in this? My major issue with the film is that it just redid the first movie and removed the one thing that made that film good, the Hunger Games. trying to reintroduce characters, introduce new ones, and these characters where they were even trying to force on us, they weren't even fun. I love you, Masharal, I can't pronounce this guy's name.
Celebrity names that many get wrong, stay tuned to the channel to learn more. Mahershala Ali.
I love you, Mahershala Ali, but you're just not Haymitch or something like that. And like, he's even one of the better ones, and that's saying something. That also shows you how bad he is, because like, he's one of the better new characters that they introduced. And aside from that, this film is just boring. Like, it's a dystopian. I get you're gonna be political and everything, but you're also a teen dystopian. At least don't make it as political and make it just a political film throughout, you know? Things I liked in this film: Philip Seymour Hoffman again, great. Yelling at Katniss for a terrible act.
You've just been in battle! I'm sorry. Excuse my outburst.
That was just so funny. And yeah, props to Jennifer. Her acting there didn't come off as overdoing it or anything.
People of Panem, we fight, we dare, we...
Did you know the line?
I know it. I'm sorry.
She's
warming up.
Okay. All right.
Felt very authentic. But they just send her out to the field after they said she was not ready, and...
But I'm in District 8, where the Capitol just bombed a hospital.
Come on, man.
Nah, don't lie to them. Don't lie to them. It was not the Republic or whoever you're voting against that killed them. You killed them, and you can explain all you want. We have evidence. Nah, okay, my hands up. Credit to them for editing it out and making it actually look cool. Also, the ending, don't get how President Snow just let them go out. Crazy plot armor, unless there was something I missed, which is crazy because I watched this film twice to see if I would like it better, and I did, just slightly, but it's still super boring. And did I mention how they shouldn't have been split into two films? Like, why did you do that? But overall, on that second watch, film didn't do much to push itself forward. Had an alright opening 30 minutes for me personally, and everything else in the film was just filler to set up the next film. As I just mentioned, shouldn't have been. This should have just been one big film, or at least they made their money back since that was so important to them. Obviously, it all ended with Mockingjay Part 2, which is just as bad. I'm joking. A bit better, marginally better. Maybe it was because it had the Hunger Games this time.
Welcome to the 76th Hunger Games.
And would you look at that, who would have thought putting the thing that the movie is actually based on would have made it a bit better? Well, it didn't really have a Hunger Games, but something close. Even Peter was killing guys. But let's talk about that. How didn't they kill Peter after all the red flags? There was always that constant, if he comes out of line, we'll kill him the next time. Well, you died and he's still alive. Like, just kill him. He was a complete liability throughout the film. Okay, not throughout the film, but for most of the film. Dude now brought up that bread story again to Katniss. Like, bro, that was a long time ago. Just let it go. You can't make that thing your entire personality. You too, Katniss, you're not getting off the hook. You're very evil, I cannot lie, bro. Like, bro, in front of Liam, I think her and Liam were still a thing back then, and you're just kissing this dude right in front of you, putting the nail in the coffin with that relationship. Like, babe, be smart with it. If you want to cheat on him, be smart with it. But to be honest, Liam deserved it. After that genocide he was plotting and not killed his sister, like, damn, he deserved more than that. But like, still, overall with this film, if you watched it back when it got released, I absolutely feel so bad for you, because there's no way that they made you wait an entire year for this film. It was just a rushed idea of what should have been two films combined. It's just a 400-page book. Film just threw everything at the wall and nothing stuck. Was definitely better than the last one, do not get me wrong, but falls behind in quality from the first two. And Foggy Nelson being in this just doesn't help it get any better. But as a whole, the franchise, everything, I'm happy I finally watched it. Been putting these two on the shelf for such a long time, as I wasn't the biggest fan of Jennifer up until a couple months ago. Now I'm like loving her and stuff, both in the new stuff she's done and like the older stuff. I think she's really good and it's absolutely amazing in this. Like, this literally uplifted her career, and deservedly so. As bad as some of these films are, she was really the best part in them sometimes. Do not think I'm as excited for the new film though, especially after finding out Rachel Zegler is in it. We'll still watch it though. Want to see how they do in an actual Hunger Games, but that's just about it. Francis Lawrence, don't mess that one up. Come on, bro. Make it a 2 out of 4. But thank you for watching this film. Jeez. Thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. It means a lot for me. A bit delayed. It's supposed to come out a couple days earlier, but it's all good. Thank you for watching again. Hope to see you in the next video. Bye.